morning, everyone, and welcome to The Early Edge. We are brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. My name is Sia Nejad, otherwise known as the Counselor of Cash. But frankly, it looks like a lot of you in the chat are the Counselors of Cash. Rick Funcannon, 9-0 on Monday Night Football. A lot of big hits. Let's see how we did on the entirety of our recap screen on Monday. We go 6-5 overall. I go 1 for 2. Mike McClure hits his play. Larry Hartstein goes 1 out of 2. Proppy 2 out of 3. This looks pretty good here. 1 out of 2 in the SportsLine picks as well. And by the way, if you followed the show yesterday morning, and if you followed The Early Edge that was on CBS Sports Network, or if you checked me out on Twitter, you also hit the 22-1 on the reverse correlated Quentin Johnston play. It was an SGP. It was 3 legs. It's Quentin Johnston to score a touchdown. Quentin Johnston over his yards, 44.5. And Quentin Johnston under 3.5 receptions, 22-1. I know some of you got that because you tweeted at me this morning. You love to see it. I love to see the stars of the show. Let's bring him in. Coming off a 6-5. It's okay. We're trying to do better. We were a few units up the day before, about, close to, I don't know, I guess we kind of basically close to breaking even yesterday, but a lot of smart football picks, a lot of conversation that led to parlays like the 22-1 Snyper, Taft Gantt, Tom Casale, and Buckets will be joining us in a couple of minutes. He's on set right now, and he's just jumping off to jump onto this show. Sniper, how you doing today?
I patted my chest to say my bad because the screen would have been a lot better without my apparently horrific pick of the Yankees who decided to not show up. That was brutal. So,
Sniper, how do we explain the Yankees? I mean, I asked that
sometimes.
No, not just yesterday, but I'm just saying for an organization that's just constantly spending at the top of the league. I mean, it does feel like they're seriously underwhelming here. Is that just it's a long season?
They had a really tough schedule the previous 2 weeks and played really well through it. They beat the Astros in a series. They beat the Red Sox in a series. They beat the Blue Jays in a series. They lost 2 of 3 to the Tigers. That might be what's sticking out in your mind because they got destroyed in 2 of those games, and the Breaks beat off them last night by a brutal Twins team. Terrible. No excuse for that. But, yeah, I think you could argue they should be better overall. They went through some awful stretches earlier in the season to the point that there was a chorus of people calling for Aaron Boone to be fired, and I usually don't do that, and I actually did get on that train in early August as well. But if you look at the American League right now, it's wide open, and they could well end up in the World Series again. I think right now I would pick the Blue Jays, but the Yankees would be toward the top.
All right. Taft Gantt, you're probably looking forward to the Ryder Cup. I know that's around the corner, and you'll be back on this show for that. But I trust you're coming here today with some college football expertise.
That's right. See, we're looking to stay ahead in college football. It's a glorious slate this weekend, and we're going to start with an earlier game. I'm excited to get into it.
Ooh, okay. So that means maybe we've got a Thursday game on tap with a couple of Saturday games. And Tom Casale, I trust you have college football as well. Can I ask you, I don't know if you've looked at the calendar, are we still 2 months out from college basketball season? Because I know that's where you're mixing both sports.
Yeah, we're a little less than 2 months. Monday, November 3rd. We will be taking Siena over Bryant on Monday, November 3rd, so you can get ready for that.
Okay, I don't know whether that's a joke or not. Are they actually playing?
Not. No,
they are.
And do we have a line out yet, or we're
just we don't have a line, but I don't think it's going to be that high. Siena returning 4 starters. Bryant, brand new coach, returning in it. It's a brand new roster, a whole new team. They returned 1 player from last year, so a little early edge with experience on that game.
It's September 16th. Ben, if you don't mind clipping that so we can air it on, November 3rd? And Tom, whether he's on the show or not on November 3rd, we can just play that back, see what the line is, and we can get the thumbs up from Tom. I did not expect that answer. That was really, really good stuff. Jeff Stenberg, Big Cheesy, Taylor DeHart, Jen is in here, Nikesh, Joe Neuenfeld. Hit the like button if you could. And let us know if you hit the 22-1 Quentin Johnston SGP. I absolutely love talking about plays like that, ladder plays. You can expect that throughout this season from me and so many others from SportsLine, but particularly on those longer shows that we do during primetime games. Taft, let's get to some football. We got football to talk about. We got baseball. I've got an NFL play that I'm going to give out, and we've got a lot. And, of course, Buckets will be here in a second too. But kick us off with some football, Taft.
See, I couldn't wait until Saturday to start cashing these college football plays for the week. So we're going to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, Thursday night Give me the 49ers at home as an underdog. They just got their first win under new head coach Tim Albin, and they have found their swagger. Even more importantly, though, they have found their quarterback in Connor Harrell. He had 5 total TDs, over 400 yards in their win last week against Monmouth. I like the 49ers as the home dog, and they have a bye next week, so they're not playing again until October. They're going to empty the tank. So give me the 49ers. Going on to Saturday, the Inside the Lines team loves Memphis. The Tigers are 3-0 against the spread and covering by an average of 15 points. And last week, they went on to score 24 unanswered against Georgia State to win that game. Since that game and since that win, the Memphis Tigers are 3-0, but the line moved in the favor of Arkansas from 4.5 to 7.5. I don't know why. It might be SEC bias. It might be because Arkansas kept it close against a terrible Ole Miss defense. But regardless, we're going to take the points with the Tigers. We're even going to do a little money line sprinkle. Love this Memphis team. Last one for you for this weekend slate. I believe the best game of the week, Auburn at Oklahoma. Lay the points with the Sooners, 6.5. Jackson Arnold is coming back to Oklahoma. I think he's going to be met by boos in Boomer Sooner, mainly because they found their quarterback in John Mateer. The Inside the Lines team's been telling you, especially Mackenzie Brooks, John Mateer is going to win the Heisman. Look at him now. He came out of nowhere. We knew it all along. Lay the points with the Sooners.
We're laying the points with the Sooners. Taft, Joe Neuenfeld wants to know why your family decided to spell Gantt with 2 T's. Is there a story behind that? What's going on?
That goes way beyond my years. 2 T's. Everyone always spells it wrong. So I appreciate the attention to detail from Joe.
Yeah, so now everybody knows. Now nobody's going to spell it. What? I was just having a moment with Taft, and then we get somebody crashing the show. Buckets, what's going on?
No, you can continue your moment with Taft. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm in a closet right now.
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Love the hair. Love the outfit. It looks
Looking
like a little
good.
Night at the Roxbury action, a reference you definitely don't get. Okay. This explains it.
Yeah.
You really were on location. Buckets, how did it go?
It went well. I'm going straight from the early edge to about 9 more shows here on location. So a bit of a busier day than I'm used to, but not a bad thing.
Buckets, do you want to go ahead and give out your plays then?
If I want you to finish your moment with Taft. I feel bad for interrupting that.
Well, one more question for Taft, actually, because there was questions about whether or not you're an SEC guy. Can you confirm the same? And was it University of Georgia?
Oh, I don't know what gave it away. If it's the beautiful Uga statue, if it's the Georgia clean
yes.
Nike sweatshirt. We were in Neyland on Saturday watching the Dogs pull it out. I am an SEC guy, and that just shows how unbiased I am by giving out that Memphis Tigers play.
All right. There, Christian Hastings in the chat said he loves the Memphis play. So a lot of people backing you already. All right, Buckets, I'm finished with Gantt. It's time for you to give out. I don't know if you have to leave the show early. Either way, it is time for you to give out your soccer plays.
No, Sniper's going to be really happy because I'm going to give the bets and then dip right out of here. So you only got to bear with me for like 90 seconds here, brother. 2 bets for everybody because we do have the Champions League back this afternoon. So it's important that we have some UCL bets here. Let me look at my Galazzo note cards here and
show off alert.
Oh, I'm so sorry. See if I can find some bets for us all. We've got 2 starting with Juventus taking on Borussia Dortmund. We are going with Juventus over 1.5 team total, currently priced at plus 100. It shouldn't be even money. Dortmund on the road are terrible. They've already conceded 3 goals to St. Pauli when playing on the road. And we've got Juventus coming this matchup off a massive Italia derby win against Inter. I'm expecting Juventus to win this one. Maybe we see both teams to score, but a 3-1 kind of scoreline. I love the team total. And we also love Kenan Yildiz to score or assist kind of as like a bonus bet for the chat here. Second bet, we're looking at Tottenham Hotspurs taking on Villarreal. And it's a bit of a weird one because we're not used to talking good about Tottenham in recent years, but they started off very well this season. Going with the exact same bet here. Tottenham over 1.5 team total, minus 120, so a little bit of juice here. But this team is currently 3rd in the Premier League, and they have had 6 different goal scorers hit their 8 different goals. So we've got a lot of different attacking options with the side and a pretty deep bench as well here. Villarreal are fine, but not good enough to stop Tottenham right now. Team total on Juve and team total on Spurs.
Buckets, there are people in the chat that want to know. Can you hold up the note card again? There's 2 questions I want to ask. The first one is, what is Galazzo? What does that mean? Do we know?
like what is the Galazzo network, or what is Galazzo?
No, I mean, like, what does the word Galazzo translate to? Because Jeff Stenberg says it translates to spectacular goal. Is that, can you confirm or
So
deny?
whenever there's a really, really good goal, a spider kick or a scorpion kick or something like that, they'll yell it's a Galazzo.
Okay. And where can we see your content later today?
You can see me all day on CBS Sports Network. It's on the Galazzo Network. I'll be on until 8 p.m. tonight on a variety of different shows. And then something embarrassing, I do have to admit, there's nothing on these cards. I just like holding cards, and I like pretending like I'm more important than I am.
Don't tell us that, man. It looked cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, you can write something down for the next one. Are you going to be on Galazzo tomorrow as well? Like, what's the schedule like?
No, I was today from 5 a.m. till 8 p.m. and then I fly back tomorrow. So just one car wash of a day, kind of going through everything.
All right. Well, Buckets, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the picks. I think you probably have to skate out. So we'll transition to your nemesis / biggest fan, Matt.
Love you, Snyder.
Snyder. Thank you, Buckets. Sniper, hit us with some baseball today.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, somebody in the chat asked about the origin story of Go Yard. Obviously, Go the Yard, the origin story is Buckets, when I handed him Jorge Soler on opening day a couple of years ago when Soler hit the home run. But Go Yard actually goes back over a century ago to when they called the baseball diamonds, baseball fields, ballparks. They called them yards. It's the baseball yard. So when you hit it out of the yard, it was somebody's going to hit it out of the yard today, and it just became Go Yard. And so that's where we get the colloquialism there. Man, I wish I would have said that word when Buckets was still here. He would have been so confused.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Anyway, I've got one play today. I'm going to go to where I'm comfortable after the Yankees beat me up last night. By the way, the Yankees will bounce back and win tonight. But I'm going to go Cubs Pirates first 5, under 3.5 runs here. Obviously, the focus is going to be on Paul Skeens, who is going to win the NL Cy Young this year, has an incredible ERA. I expect that he's probably only going to go 5 or 6 innings, and he should hold the Cubs offense to 1 or 2 runs max. That will get us under the 3.5 through first 5, because if you haven't noticed anything from Cade Horton on the mound for the Cubs, he is going to follow in Skeens' footsteps in winning NL Rookie of the Year. He has a 2.70 ERA overall this season in 110 innings, but it's 1.25 in his last 12 starts. He has been unbelievable. Cubs are only having him go 5 innings, usually sometimes 6, to try to kind of hold his workload down as they get closer to the playoffs. He honestly might be their number 1 starter in the playoffs. I think he should. They'll probably put Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga in front of him, but I think he should be the one. He's been pitching like an ace since the start of July. So I'm expecting something like 1 or 2 runs through the first 5 innings, easily under this 3.5. You could get under 2.5 at big time plus money. I think it was close to plus 200 there if you wanted to get a little wild with that. So that is my one play today. We had a few questions there. Cheesy Ben Rice, I don't think it's a question, it's a play. Over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Absolutely. I think the Yankees are going to bounce back against the Twins. Freddie Peralta record the win. The only thing on the Brewers is, yeah, it's the Angels. Peralta's probably going to record a win. They gave me pause. They're 14-14 in the last 28 games. They do not have the same magic right now. There was one earlier, Cam Schlittler over 15.5 outs. That's Yankees against the Twins. Yes, I would do that. Joey Cantillo over 4.5 strikeouts against the Tigers. I would probably stay away, but I could see it. Zebby, no, I'm not doing that. The Yankees are going to crush him.
Sniper,
yes, it makes sense that it's the Yankees. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. There happens to be a day game. I'm just trying to get a lean out of you potentially here. A game at 1:05. The Nationals hosting the Braves. Suarez and Irvin on the mound. It's a total of 9, and the Braves are pretty big favorites, minus 150 on the road. Any thoughts in that game whatsoever?
Not really. I think the Braves are a much more trustworthy team right now, but still not trustworthy at all. They've been so inconsistent all year and mostly bad. I guess I would lean toward the Braves side on that, but don't really love it, especially with it being a doubleheader and a weird day game that seems out of place.
Yeah, that's fair. Big Cheesy says Acuna bases is a look. Let's talk about MGM and a promo here. And then we actually have some SportsLine picks that are correlated, Sniper, with the pick that you just gave out. BetMGM players will receive an MLB parlay boost. Just make a parlay made up of MLB bets, and you'll score extra winnings if the parlay hits, only at BetMGM. Let's take a look at the SportsLine picks. Cade Horton, under 4.5 hits allowed, minus 133. Sniper, I know you like that. That one is courtesy of Prop Bet Guy. And then we also have the Orioles money line at plus money, plus 112, says Bruce Marshall. Take the Orioles money line. We still got to get to home run picks. Tom, you're coming up next with your football pick. I've got a bit of a football pick to give out. We're going to cover it all right after this message from our partners.
Only CBS Sports can bring you big time during the heart of Saturday afternoons. It's big time.
It's big time. It's big time. It's big time.
On CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
We're back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. And Tom Casale, it is your turn. Talk to me about TCU.
Yeah, I gave out TCU -6 on the site. It's -6.5 now. Listen, it's going to be a bad day for the TCU punter. If his family's coming to that game, they're not going to see him much because TCU's offense should roll in this game. SMU allowed over 600 yards to Baylor. Baylor ran 94 plays in that game, and I got bad news. TCU's offense is even better. Josh Hoover's a quarterback I've loved ever since the summer. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the country, and you're also looking at a revenge spot here. SMU blasted TCU 66-42 last year. I just have TCU rated a lot higher. I haven't been impressed with SMU so far this season. They lost that game to Baylor, and they didn't look good against Missouri State. So I think there's some value here. I think you can play this multiple different ways. You can lay the 6.5. You can take the TCU over team total. You could take Josh Hoover over passing yards. So I think there's a lot of ways. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is after I bet it, I realize the game is in the state of Texas, and I don't know what's going on with these weather delays. I think it's nonsense. I really do. I'm sure it's going to be raining somewhere in the state of Texas on Saturday, and now there's like 2.5 hour weather delays. This is something we have to monitor. Last week I gave out Miami, and I thought they'd come out hot, and they did, and they were up 14-3, and then they sit for 2.5 hours. Now, luckily, Miami came back and they still covered the game. But this is something I think we got to start monitoring in these games down south, because sitting for 2.5 hours is a big deal. But hopefully there won't be a weather delay in this game that'll impede TCU's offense. If there isn't, I think they roll. I think they could score 50 on Saturday.
Nobody likes a weather delay. I feel like anytime there's a weather delay in any sport, you always feel like you're getting the bad end of it. And as Taft, as a golf bettor, like I had Sam Burns outright. What was the tournament, Taft, where I'm trying to remember, where he completely blew it after the rain delay? Do you remember what tournament that was this year? Well, either way, I had him as an outright, and he had a nice little lead, and then it just rained, and then that stuff
US Open, right?
Was it the U.S. Open? It might have been. I'll have to go back. I'm scrambled right now, but he, that stuff happens. And I think the rule is, and I don't know if they've modified it, Tom. I think if there's a possibility of thunder or lightning, or if it's within like an 8-mile radius, they just evacuate everybody. I don't know if that's a more
but I'm telling you that something else has changed, because there was 7 weather delays last weekend.
Yeah.
There hasn't been 7 before this year. There hasn't been 7 weather delays in my lifetime watching football. Like, there just hasn't been. There hasn't been a Saturday when you're looking at scores and 5 of the games say weather delay. So there has to be something that's changed there, because it's just, you guys follow football. It's just, it's not common to see 5 or 6 games at a time on a weather delay. Yeah. So listen, you never play a game, and if you're afraid of lightning, then they're going to have to build a dome down in South Florida.
Yeah, that's so true. Gipper's pick says the time he should have gotten a drop and didn't, right? Yeah, that's the time he hit out of a mini pool and didn't get a drop for some reason. I think you might be right. It probably was the U.S. Open. Easy for me to forget. All right, let's go to my football pick. Then we'll get to some home run props and some of your questions. If you have MLB or college football questions, and Tom, I have a follow-up question for you as well, college football related, before we close the show. I'm going to go with another teaser. It's not a true teaser. It's just an alt line play on 2 teams that I think are going to cover over the key number of 2.5. Listen, I've only done this once so far this year, and it hit pretty easily. So I'm going to go right back to it. And if I If I end up losing this one, maybe I'll put the teasers and alt lines to bed. But I really like the Seahawks at home, -2.5. And I like the Falcons -2.5 as well. I mean, we're talking about the Saints and Carolina. I don't think these teams match up very well at all. I love Seattle at home. I really liked how they played in Pittsburgh last week. And the Falcons, I understand they're going on the road and it's a division game. This line is around 5.5. I'm taking it down to 2.5. By the way, the Seahawks line is 7.5 down to 2.5. This pays +109. And honestly, I think the Falcons are so much better than Carolina. Bryce Young's a problem. More importantly, Ted McMillan is really his only reliable target. Hunter Renfrow might be the second guy in command here from a reception standpoint. That's not where you want to be. Defense isn't very good. And I do think Carolina coming back on the Cardinals last week kind of set off some alarm bells for the Falcons to not take this team too easy on the road. So Falcons -2.5. Seahawks -2.5. This one is +109. We're getting it under that key number of 3. All right, let's take a look at the home run chart Sniper and get your reaction here. Jazz Chisholm +330 versus +413. Matt Wallner +370 versus +484. And Jose Ramirez +365 versus +500. Some serious value here, according to the lines crew. Sniper, your response?
Jose is very, very familiar with Casey Mize of the Tigers, who has not had a very good second half. So that one jumps out at me. And it's interesting that the top two are both in Minnesota. They're not traditionally known as a great home run park, but Jazz on the Yankees, Wallner on the Twins, both in the same game. That's interesting. So there must be something in there that the SportsLine model sees as being, very good, ripe home run conditions.
Yeah. Taft, follow up on, was it the U.S. Open?
Yeah,
US
you in
the
the
comments.
Yeah, that's when he hit it out of the big puddle and didn't get relief, and he should have, but there's a whole controversy. But he's back. He's on the Ryder Cup team. I think he'd look at this year as successful even after that blemish.
I'll tell you, though, even before that incident, because he wasn't playing well after the weather delay, as soon as it started pouring, I'm like, all right, now it's anybody's game. And it's just you hate to see that, especially in football, because, the whole team has to come out and warm up. It's just a completely different vibe post-weather delay. Tom, you were on the network show with me yesterday. You and Emery Hunt, we talked about some Group of 5 FCS stuff. Is there a game that you've got your eye on for this Saturday that's not the TCU game, that maybe not an official play, but a line you're looking at, a line you're considering from Group of 5 or FCS?
Yeah, I gave out Louisville in the first half against Bowling Green. I think that's a good spot for the Cardinals. They were a little sluggish in their last game against James Madison. I think they come out hot. And then, Boise and Air Force usually play lower scoring games. 4 of the last 5 have gone under 50 points. Boise State's strength is on defense. They defend that option pretty well. And I'm still concerned about the Boise offense without Genty. So I could see that game going under the total.
I'm concerned about the Raiders offense with Genty, but that's just me. Greatest Poet Alive Sniper says, Sniper, no run first inning Cubs Pirates. Now, Greatest Poet Alive, you didn't put the number there. It's probably like it's not a fun number.
It's got to be heavily juiced.
Yeah. You're
but I would be surprised. First of all, if the Pirates can score a run against Cade Horton in the first inning, I would be beyond shocked. And the Cubs against Skeens, I think your only concern is somebody popping one. Right there with the solo home run, like Michael Bush leading off could hit a home run, for example. Ian Happ's been very, very hot, but generally speaking, yeah, I would like that.
Kylie Reynolds wants to know, Snyder, do you like a Yankees money line and Red Sox money line parlay?
Yankees for sure. Red Sox, A's at home, Springs probably. Yeah. I could get on board with that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lean, not a play. Taj Omari L. This is interesting. So Taft or Tom, I'm not sure if you have a comment here, but I do know Ben had Arkansas State and covered swimmingly last week when they played Iowa State. It was one of his producer picks. So Ben, I don't know if you want to jump on it here, but Arkansas State -6.5, -105 over at BetMGM. Tom, any response here?
Yeah, I had Arkansas State last week, too. I thought it was the worst spot of the season for any team for Iowa State, playing 4 straight games, coming off the emotional Iowa win. I do not like them this week. I don't think Arkansas State's any good. I think they played a great spot. I mean, it's tough to go to Jonesboro, Arkansas for your 5th game of the season without a break. I didn't think Iowa State would be mentally sharp. They weren't. I lean Kennesaw here, plus the points. Arkansas State isn't a good football team, and their defense isn't very good. I think Kennesaw can stay within this number, but it's not one that jumps out at me.
All right.
Can I ask a college football
I
question of Tom?
There you go, Ben. Thank you. All right. So he's off Arkansas State, but absolutely smashed him with Tom last week. Go ahead, Sniper.
Illinois at Indiana. Just curious for personal reasons.
Yeah. So, I bet Illinois to make the college football playoff at the beginning of the season, only because of their Big Ten schedule. They miss a lot of the big boys. This is the game. You know what I mean? This is the game that they got to go and take care of on the road. I think Illinois plus the 4.5 is interesting. I think it's going to be a tight game either way. Listen, I've been an Illini fan since the summer. I like their lines, their offense and defensive fronts. I think they can run the ball. I think it's going down to the fourth quarter. I think it's going down to the final few minutes. So I would take the Illini with the points. The winner, it's going to be probably a coin flip.
All right. Jen M says swimmingly and colloquialism, vocab Tuesday. And Joseph has a question. Jen likes Illinois. Rick Funcannon likes Illinois. Jeff Stenberg likes Indiana. It sounds like a showdown. And by the way, is Lydia in the chat? Good thing I didn't recall that he challenged me in a showdown, because I'd be up a little bit of cash on that Chargers play. Tom, we'll close here. And then unless there's some follow-up that Taft or Sniper have, and then we'll get to the recap screen. But Joseph Akers wants to know, Tom, what are the odds Tom Casale and his wife talk spreads and money line at the dinner table? I'm thinking the odds are pretty good.
Yeah, listen, even my kids know who I have every week. On the college football show, I keep picking the wrong games. I'm 1-5 in my best bets. And even Saturday, my one son was like, oh, man, we can't catch a break here. So, it's a family thing over at the Casale house.
Now, that's 1-5 on a particular show that you're giving out bets, but overall, your record is better than that.
Yes, I'm winning in college football. I'm just the two bets I pick midweek are the wrong ones. So it's actually, if you take the rest of my bets and fade me on that part, you'd probably be 93% this year.
Pretty amazing. Hate when that happens. All right. Taft or Sniper, hand up if you got any follow-up. I think we're good to get to the recap screen. Let's check it out, Ben. Great show. Buckets dives in here, but Tom, Taft, and Sniper always delivering. I've got a little teaser. It's not a true teaser. It's just an NFL alt line. I'm taking the Seahawks down from 7 to 2.5, and the Falcons down from 5 or 5.5 to 2.5. That one pays plus 109. Then we go to baseball today. Cubs, Pirates, first 5 under 3.5 runs at minus 115. More baseball with the SportsLine picks. Juventus versus Dortmund. Juventus over 1.5 team total from buckets. That's even money. And Tottenham versus Villarreal. Tottenham over 1.5 team total minus 120. We got actually 4 college football games. 3 of them from Taft. Thursday, we're going Charlotte plus 2.5 at even money. Memphis plus 7 at even money. And Oklahoma minus 6.5 at minus 110. Then we go to Tom Casale. TCU minus 6.5 at minus 115. SportsLine picks Cade Horton under 4.5 hits allowed minus 133 from Prop Bet Guy. That correlates certainly with Sniper's play. And Orioles money line plus 112. That one courtesy of Bruce Marshall. Top MLB home run plays: Jazz Chisholm, Matt Wallner, and Jose Ramirez. Joe Neuenfeld says, everyone, especially Taft, have a great day. I don't know if the rest of us should take that as an insult, but Taft, I want you especially to have a great day. And you put in the chat, let's make some money. We made a little bit of money for you yesterday. At least I hope we did. Hopefully you took some of that parlay action, but it was a winning record. We didn't make a ton of money. The day before, we were 12-9 from a very busy Friday recap screen. So we're coming out ahead, but we want to come out more ahead each and every day. But either way, thank you for joining us in the chat, hitting the like button, and being a part of this conversation. Liddy's in the chat. I don't know if Liddy said anything about this showdown that I failed to accept. Thanks for being in here, Liddy. Thanks, Taft. Thanks, Sniper. Thank you, Tom and Ben's on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time on The Early Edge. We rest our case.